Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through the 5-step process that we go through when we work with a source and convert customer. So I'm going to quickly run through all 5 steps of the process so you can see exactly how it works. Okay, so the first step of the process is to jump on a phone call with us so we can talk about the kind of base vehicle that you're looking for. Because one of the most important parts of a camper van obviously is the base vehicle itself. Obviously the conversion is really important, but if that conversion is not on the right van, then of course it's not going to be good long term. What we do is we jump on a phone call and we firstly find out what your overall maximum budget is for the camper. Because once we know what your budget is, we can then kind of reverse engineer the process and work out what type of base vehicle that you need. So what we'll do on that call is we're going to find out what your rough budget is, and then we're going to find out what base vehicle you want ideally. So things like the colour, whether you want tailgate or barn door, whether you want automatic or manual, and any other kind of variables that you might want on the actual base vehicle itself. And then once we've got all that information from you, what we then do is we go out to our contacts at VW. We have about 2 or 3 dealerships that we deal with on a regular basis that we buy vans from literally every month. So we get in contact with them, we put the feelers out there, and we try and find the right base vehicle based on what you're looking for. And then depending on how specific you're being with the base vehicle, we can normally find 2 or 3 vans that tick the right boxes within a couple of days. So once you have chosen one of the vans that we've sent you, if you decide to go for one of them, what we then do is we do all the due diligence. So we do all the paid reports, we find out all the history of the van, make sure it's never been written off or it's got any finance on it. But to be honest, most of these things are not really a problem when you're buying vans directly from VW, because they've already done all the due diligence, they've done any little bits of bodywork that need doing, and they make sure that van is perfect to be resold. So normally we don't have those problems, but just to give us and you peace of mind, we do our own due diligence, and we do run reports on the vans just to make sure it's the right vehicle for our customer. And then once we've got all the reports back and we're happy with that particular vehicle, we will then go and put a reserve on that van, we'll pay a deposit, and then we'll arrange for that vehicle to be delivered to our workshop. So we'll go and buy the van on your behalf, get it delivered to us, ready for the conversion. And then the third step of the process is the exciting part, because that's when we're going to work with you to choose all the colours and the spec and the extras that you want on your camper. So once we know the base vehicle, we know what the colour of it is, it's going to be much easier for you to choose all the colours of the furniture and the upholstery and the blinds and things like that. So what we'll do then is we'll email you an online spec questionnaire. So this is a checkbox questionnaire, and it will talk you through all of the choices you've got for the whole of the interior of the camper. So you'll use our conversion spec guide, which you can download from our website, and that will give you all the different examples of colours and things like that. And then once you've sent that spec questionnaire back to us, if we need to jump on a call just to talk through any of your choices or talk through any of the colours that you're unsure about, we can do that. And then once you send that spec questionnaire back, we will then send you a confirmation document to sign, so that we're all clear on exactly what you're having on your camper. So when it comes to choosing the spec of your camper, you're going to get to choose the colour of the furniture, the upholstery, the roof, the flooring. You're going to get to choose from 10 different styles of alloy wheels, and also any extras that you might want adding to the camper. Things like extra reading lights, extra USBs, maybe a reverse camera if the van hasn't already got a reverse camera, possibly rear speakers in the back and things like that. So you are going to get to choose what the camper looks like inside, and we will send you samples and examples so you can make the right choices. And when it comes to choosing spec, you can either do it remotely, which is what most of our customers do. So you can do it through the spec questionnaire and watching videos, and we can send you out samples in the post. So most of our customers do it that way. If you'd rather, you can come to our sales office and we can sit down with you and actually show you physical samples of everything and talk through things face to face. Now, we would actually prefer to do that face to face, but most of our customers live a long way from where we are. Most of our customers come from Scotland and down south, so we do everything remotely. But that's completely up to you. You can either do it online, we can do it remotely, or you can come into our office and meet us face to face. Now, the fourth step of the process, once you've chosen all the interior spec and the extras that you want, is we then talk about the conversion date, and we work out when we can fit you in for the conversion. We actually would probably have already had this conversation a bit earlier, but if we haven't decided at this point, we will then talk about the availability for a conversion slot. And with our source and convert customers, we can usually get you slotted in within around 3 weeks. Once we've sourced the base vehicle, we've had it delivered to us, and you've chosen all your spec, it's usually around 2 to 3 weeks before we get that van into the workshop ready for a conversion. And once we've started the conversion, it's usually around a 2-week turnaround from starting it from scratch to you driving away in a completed camper. It's usually around 2 weeks. And in terms of a deposit, we ask for a 50% deposit 3 weeks prior to starting the conversion. So basically, as soon as we've actually found the right van for you, we've reserved it, at that stage, like I say, we will then ask you for 50% of the price of the completed camper. So for example, if the completed camper was going to be £60,000, you would then pay £30,000 3 weeks prior to the start date, and then you pay the balance on collection. And then step 5 of the process is the most exciting part for you and for us, and that's when you come to actually collect your completed camper. And in most cases, we haven't even met the customer before they come and pick up their camper. So we really enjoy handing over completed campers to our customers and just seeing their face when we reveal the camper to them. It's a really, really nice moment. And we try to get most of those handovers on video. So if you haven't already seen some of our handover videos, make sure you check out our channel, because we've got lots of videos where we've handed over campers and you can see some of their reactions. And because most of our customers are coming from a long way to pick up their camper, we get people coming from the Highlands and from South Wales and even from the Isle of Wight sometimes. They usually come by train or they fly into a local airport. So we do offer a pickup service as well for all of our customers. So for example, if you were coming from Edinburgh, you could get a train into Huddersfield. We'd come and pick you up at the train station and then drive you to your camper. Okay, so that's it in terms of the process that we go through for our source and convert service, and a bit more information about how it all works. But before I go, I want to just mention one thing which is quite important, and that is that most of the vans that we source and buy through VW are usually between kind of delivery miles, so brand new vans, up to a maximum of around 2 years old. So that means that most of the vans that we're sourcing from VW are fairly new vans, and they are usually Highline vans, which means that when we put our Platinum conversion package onto that van, you're going to be looking at a final price of anywhere between kind of £57,000 and £70,000. That's the usual kind of price window for most of the campers that we sell. But having said that, if your budget is under £55,000, maybe you've got a £50,000 budget, we can still help you. It just means that we may have to try and source a van that's a little bit older with a few more miles, and we may have to try and source it outside of VW. Because most of the stock that VW hold are usually kind of 21, 22 plate at the very oldest, right up to kind of nearly new vans. So if your budget is a bit lower, we can help you, but it will just mean that we need to find a slightly cheaper base van, because the base vehicle itself is what really determines the end price of a camper. That's the main variable. So we can help you. It just means that we need to go and find maybe a T6, maybe a 2019 or a 2020 van, slightly older, maybe with a few more miles, maybe 50, 60,000 miles, rather than a really low mileage, nearly new van, which is what we do for most of our customers. Okay, so that's really it when it comes to the choices that you've got in terms of acquiring a VW camper. You either buy one off the shelf, you go and buy your own van to have converted, or you use our source and convert service. So if you're quite new to this, but you are really keen on getting a VW camper this year, and you feel a little bit overwhelmed and maybe you've fallen a bit far down that rabbit hole, then we are here to help and offer some advice, regardless of whether you decide to buy a camper from us or not. So all you need to do is just head to our website, go to the contact page on our website, which is highlifecampers.co.uk, and you can actually schedule a call in my calendar at a time that suits you, and I will give you a call for a chat. And this is a no pressure call, it's not a sales call, it's just an opportunity for you to ask questions and find out what your options are. If you would like to speak to me, make sure you head to the website and schedule a call with me. And if you've not already downloaded our guides, we've got 2 guides. The first one is our conversion spec guide, where we lay out all 4 of our conversion packages, so you can read through all the features of every package. And then we've also got our VW Camper Buyer's Guide, which we put together to help people, sort of guide people through the process of buying a VW camper. So I'm going to put links to both of those guides in the description below this video on YouTube, and you can also get both of those guides on the homepage of our website, which is highlifecampers.co.uk. Okay, so that's it for this video. I really do hope you've got value from this. If you've got any questions about anything that I've covered in this video, just put them in the comment section below on YouTube. And again, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, make sure you do that so you don't miss any of my future videos. And if you've got value from this video and you've enjoyed the content, please also consider hitting that like button, and I will see you in the next video. Speak soon.